Good evening, America. I'm Cam Schille, and welcome to the TVA News. Today's a day which will go down as one of the most tragic days in U.S. history. This morning, at approximately 7:55 a.m., Pearl Harbor was bombed by the Japanese military. There were many fatalities, and the destruction was immense. All 8 battleships of the U.S. Pacific Fleet were sunk or badly damaged, including the USS Arizona. Within minutes of the Japanese attack, 7 of 8 battleships took major hits from bombs and torpedoes. It was a shocking and traumatic sight for those nearby. TVA News correspondent Josh Weifel was lucky enough to come in contact with one of the nurses who survived this devastating incident. Josh?
Thank you, Cam. I'm here today with Harriet Moore, a U.S. Army nurse who has survived these tragic events. Hello, Harriet. So tell us, what did you see today?
Me and a few other nurses, we rushed outside when we heard the first explosion. We saw hundreds of planes coming towards us. I saw some ships burning while others were sinking. When I went into the hospital, I saw long rows of injured soldiers laying on the floor.
What was it like seeing the first bombs being dropped in Pearl Harbor?
We were all put in a state of shock. I saw no fear around me. We all acted as we'd been trained to do.
What were you doing at the time of the bombing?
We were actually thinking about going to church when the first bomb fell. We had no idea what was about to come.
What was the first thought that came to your mind when you heard the bombing?
Earthquake. At first we just thought it was an earthquake.
Could you see the bombs?
Yes, we did see the first bombs being dropped, but after that all I saw was smoke and injured men just being carried to me.
What did it feel like to be in the midst of the bombing?
It was mind-numbing. You didn't really have time to think about what was happening.
How bad was the destruction?
Before I made my way to the hospital, the bombs had just begun. I saw ships burning and a lot of smoke. I could tell from the wounded coming in that it was not pretty.
If there were to be a war, would you prepare for it? How would you prepare for it?
I don't think anyone can ever be prepared for it. The things us nurses see can drive a girl insane. It's like a fight-or-flight reaction. Some can handle it and some can't.
Thank you for your time, Miss Moore. We appreciate your willingness to talk to us on such a tragic event. Back to you in the studio, Cam.
Thank you, Josh. I'm here with Casey Watchell, one of the few who can help make sense of this frightful situation.
Thank you, Cam. As you all now know, this morning, December 7th, at 7:55 a.m., Pearl Harbor was attacked by the Japanese. Hundreds of Japanese fighter planes attacked in 2 separate waves. All 8 battleships were damaged along with other vessels and aircrafts. 4 battleships are sinking, and they are working frantically to save the men on board. The death toll right now is just over 1,000, but they are expecting hundreds more. There are many wounded and many, many missing.
Now, many people are wondering, how did the United States not see the fighter jets coming?
Well, that's the thing. We did know there were jets coming, but we assumed they were the scheduled US B-17 bombers that were coming to land. Because we assumed they were American soldiers, we did not prepare ourselves for what was to come. As the first wave approached, some of our men were just getting out of bed or even still asleep. It was a complete surprise, and we had no time to react. It took only minutes to destroy the battleships, and they were unable to fight back. Our air bases were also bombed, so we had no way of fighting back. Very few U.S. fighter jets were able to actually take to the air, but by then it was too late. At 9 a.m., the second wave of Japanese bombers arrived to finish what the first wave had missed. This wave had very little to do because of how much damage the first wave had succeeded in.
Now, what could have possibly caused the Japanese to commit such a horrific plan of attack?
We are not sure of a definite reason behind this attack, but my colleagues and I have come up with a theory. Now, tension between Japan and the U.S. has been building for over a year because of the U.S. freezing Japan of their necessities to build their army. This includes steel, scrap iron, and aviation fuel. The U.S. froze them of these items due to Japan island hopping in Indochina. In June and July of 1941, the U.S., along with Britain and the Netherlands, froze Japan from their oil. This crippled their army and made their air force completely useless. We believe Japan felt threatened by the Pacific Fleet and its power, so they felt they had to cripple their capability to go to war.
Well, thank you for joining us and sharing your expertise with the country. Today has been a devastating day. Tune in tomorrow for President Roosevelt's live statement about what has to come. I'm Cam Schille, and this has been TVA News Exclusive.